Hi, all. Today we are going through Get Wise Wednesday, and we have a brand new article. So, this month we'll be looking for outstanding annotations for informational texts. Annotation should be content and form, so we'll discuss that further. About 8 to 10 words for each chunk, describing that, and we'll go through one together. Highlight or underlining of key phrases or words and not the entire sentence. So, this is what we're looking for. Each teacher will be looking out for that, and you will earn prizes based on what we see. Cool. So, pre thinking question: can zombies exist? You can pause this video, talk about it for about 3 minutes. Watch this video after we discuss it. So you can just exit out of this video and watch it in your class because it'll sound a lot better. Moving on. Nope. Cool. So again, what are your thoughts about the video? Awesome. We will read an article together or along with this video that I'm recording. And while you're reading, you're following the expectations for annotations, which are here on the right-hand side. So after reading, and annotating, you can answer the question using to seek or claim evidence analysis format, however way that you are used to it, the way that your ALA teacher teaches it to you, but we'll go over how to do that later on in Get Wise Wednesday. Cool. So annotation expectations, we'll find the topic. Today we are focusing on topic, identifying the topic using the acronym TIES. So title, introduction, and a passage summary. We're going to use those. We will number paragraphs together, highlight words that say something about our topic once we've identified it, then write the main idea of each chunk. Okay, not necessarily of each paragraph, because in articles you will see that like a paragraph can be like one sentence. And then after that, we will focus on our central idea. So we will be collecting these at the end of Get Wise Wednesday. And using them for next time. So make sure that you turn these in. All right, let's talk about how we'll do this together. Using ties. All right, so the first thing that we are going to do is identify it like using the title. All right, so let's identify the title, read the title. How a parasitic fungus turns ants into zombies. So what I'm thinking here, what I can write down is, well, I think it involves like zombies. And when I think of zombies, it's like the living dead, like brain eaters. Okay, so maybe like ants or zombies. Who knows? Okay, we don't know yet, but we're going to figure it out. The next thing that we are going to look for is the introduction. So the introduction, I would count it as all of this. Let's read together. They walk among us, insects taken over by parasitic fungi that control their every move. The Ophiocordyceps, and it's pronounced here, unilateralis, fungus has just one goal: multiply and spread. Researchers think the fungus infects a foraging ant through spores that attach and make a hole in the exoskeleton, then slowly takes over its behavior. As the infection progresses, the ant is forced to leave its nest for a more humid environment that's favorable to the fungus's growth. The ant is forced to crawl down to a point about 10 inches off the ground, sink its jaws into a leaf vein of a plant, and wait for death. Interesting. So, as we said, we're not highlighting everything here, but something that I notice as I read is that this word forced has come up quite a bit. So it's like repetition of words. And foraging ants, interesting. That's underlined because that's a vocab word. And it says the ant is forced to leave its nest, the ant is forced to crawl down. So it sounds like the fungus is forcing the ants to do something. So let me see. Fungus forcing ants to do something. And how can I relate that back to here, what I thought about zombies? Well, I know like zombies, when you're infected, they like force the host to like eat brains or attack and spread, because I noticed like from zombie movies, like using my prior knowledge, they go out and they infect as many people as they can. They like bite them, and then those people are infected because they have like the blood or the bacteria or something in them. So that's interesting. So that kind of makes sense. All right, so that's our introduction. We got the topic. Well, I'm still feeling like maybe fungus forcing ants to do something, like zombie ants. Understandable. Let's go to our end of summary, end of topic, or article summary. So it would probably be around here. It's exciting terrain at the edge of our understanding to look at the amount of parasites, of how parasites control their hosts. Okay, so it's talking about control again, highlighting that. If animals are so easily controlled, what does that mean about us? Okay, so the author ends with a question. What I can see here is that, again, fungus controlling ants. So I'm thinking that this informational text, and I would write that down here. So this is a nonfiction, NF, so write that down. Write this down. Everything that I'm writing down, it's just me thinking aloud, but this you're for sure writing it down. So nonfiction, it's informational, and the topic would be, what are your thoughts? Zombie ants, fungus controlling ants. So I would say like fungus controlling ants. Kind of like a zombie, right? You can also say like zombie ants. That's what I got so far. Cool. So now that I have my topic, I kind of want to number my paragraphs because I want to talk about them. So this is paragraph 1. Do this with me. I wonder if I can do it here and it go. Paragraph 2, paragraph 3, so on and so forth. Oh, good. Paragraph 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So beautiful. So when we answer our overall question in the other worksheet, we can like refer back to paragraph numbers instead. So that'll be fun. Cool. Now, since we have that, let's have the main idea of each paragraph. Well, I know that you've been taught like maybe 4 paragraphs, but we're actually going to do it for chunks, like the main idea for chunks, okay? So with that being said, I have my mouse. I would focus on this like as a chunk here. So I know that I wrote this down, and that can be a good main idea for what this is. So fungus forcing ants to do something. Fungus forcing ants to do something. If you want to be more specific, say like forcing ants to leave their area and go to where a fungus would like to grow. So fungus forcing ants to go to area or place the fungus can benefit. So overall, we want it to be at like 10 words, like maybe 8 to 10 words, okay? 8 to 10 words. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's a lot. So it can be less. We're going to do that chunk. We already did that chunk. Let's do another chunk. Maybe after I read this a bit, I can say, well, maybe this is like another good chunk. Okay, so that's a chunk. Not per paragraph, but the chunk could be paragraphs 4 through 6. And let's talk about that. Meanwhile, the fungus feeds on its victim's insides until it's ready for the final stage. Several days after the ant has died, the fungus sends a stick-like sprout through the base of the ant's head turning its shriveled body into a launch pad from which it can send its spores and infect ants. Okay, so here I'm thinking the fungus is changing the ant. Okay, so fungus changing ant. I'm going to write that down just so I don't forget. It definitely speaks to the imagination of both scientists and the general public, says Carissa DeBeeker, a University of Central Florida professor who studies parasite host interactions that lead to behavioral changes. Okay, so the author is like backing it up with evidence that they received elsewhere of like behavioral changes based on the fungus. So it's like here they're talking about how the fungus is a parasite. So when we're doing these chunks, like these main ideas of the chunks, we have to relate it back to the topic. So here, fungus changing ant, that relates to the topic. Fungus is a parasite, that also relates to the topic because, like, if we think of zombies, they're kind of parasitic or like they spread like a parasite, which is never a good thing. When I think of parasite, I think of something that's like bad. So yeah, next one. As in zombie myth, there's a time period where infected ants appear perfectly normal and go about their business undetected by the rest of the colony. That's unusual because sick ant members usually get kicked out of the group to prevent the rest from getting too sick. We think that the ants don't really have a system to get rid of Ophiocordyceps. Interesting. So it's kind of making me think of like the zombie ants walk among us. And undetected means like in disguise. Actually, that's kind of different because zombies, like you can definitely tell when a zombie is a zombie. So I'm wondering like what's going on here. Overall, that can sum up what we have. Since we wrote this down, you can write something down. The ask is for you to put this in your own words for 8 to 10 words, like in 8 to 10 words. Okay. Now do 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 by yourself or in a group. It's up to you. And then we'll do the central idea. So the central idea, you can write this down as well, is like the main point the author is making about the entire text / topic. All right. So it is your job to use all of the main ideas that you got here in your article that you wrote down and summarize them in the central idea. So you have a really good grasp of what this article is about. Cool. Good luck. Have fun. And make those annotations nice and great. You're writing these annotations, see how I did it here on the right-hand side? Because when you get this back on the left-hand side, you'll have other annotations that you'll write. So this is a right-hand side annotation, right-hand side.